Welcome back to NFL Primetime. The Ravens at the Lions. Ray Lewis trying to fire up his team in Motown. Dre Bly has made an interception and put Kevin Jones in position to bounce in the end zone untouched. And then, well, he does the dance like now Raven, once Cowboy, once everyone, Dion.
Yeah, he's practiced at it, which means he's standing in a mirror at some point.
That's not good. Joey Harrington, this is a big call. Gets hit, the ball goes tumbling forward. It looks to be incomplete. But Jones says, well, wait a minute, let me pick it up. I don't hear a whistle. And he keeps running and moving and down to the 2. Brian Billick goes, are you kidding me? It had to be an incomplete pass. You're going to call that what's going on here? Is it a forward pass or a fumble?
It gets reviewed. You see Joey's arm coming forward. Certainly looks like his forward momentum of his arm threw the ball out. However, they looked at it. The call was upheld. It was a fumble.
And then it got to Jones for a touchdown, loses the mouth guard, and then does his Ray Lewis dance. See, so...
Well, I wouldn't do that. If I was a running back, I wouldn't do that. With Ray Lewis as a linebacker, you're certainly going to see him again sometime in your career.
Joey Harrington throws it away. Terrell Suggs gets called for roughing the passer. He's not pleased, and his helmet bumps the beak of ref Mike Carey's cap, and he's thrown out of the game. 2 Ravens thrown out of the game for unsportsmanlike conduct. B.J. Ward and Casey Fitzsimmons get into it. Ward gets flagged. Ed Reed comes over trying to grab the official, but Carey ejects Ward instead of Reed. The Ravens had 21 penalties in this game. By the way, the NFL record, 22. Anthony Wright to Derek Mason. Out of bounds, thinks he was pushed out. Umpire disagrees. Mason throws the ball against the wall. Out of frustration, he's flagged. You can see the way this was going. Meanwhile, the game is 28-17. Sean Bryson, gone. One carry. Didn't Mel Farr used to wear 24?
And that's Deion Sanders chasing him. And you know, in his day, Deion Sanders would have caught anybody in this league. Boom, couldn't catch him today.
So the Lions go on to win at 35-17 in a bizarre game. It was just last week that the Lions thought they got jobbed and didn't get the break when they had the touchdown, maybe a Tampa callback. This time, all the flags went against their opponent. And Detroit wins 35-17. The Ravens fall to 1-3. The Lions 2-2. And you know what? In that division, they're in first. Panthers at Cardinals. Josh Tears of McCown and the Cardinals. They're undefeated in Mexico. Get to win in the United States. How about Anquan Bolden? Bangs. And he's in the end zone. Touchdown, 20 yards.
They've got 2 brilliant young receivers, Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald.
Look at this again.
Brilliant. Just watch their desire. They've got great hands. They're big. They're strong. Quarterback's dream.
Arizona leads Carolina 20-10. McCown to Bolden, but Marlon McCree is going to what? Look at that. It's almost like a forehand hit in tennis. Recovered by Ken Lucas all the way down to the 5. Leads to a Davis 1-yard touchdown, and it's now 20-17. Stephen Davis picks up 6 yards on first down. Later, daylight coming, you got it, Delo. Deshaun Foster out of the backfield. 30 yards in all. And on the play, way back, Chike O'Keefe roughing the passer adds another 15 yards. Then Steve Smith. Wow! Out of bounds at the 4. Next play, daylight come, and you got to go to Steve Smith. Touchdown. Panthers lead 24-20. Arizona having the lead, blowing it. Now on 4th and 6 at the Carolina 33, do they have a chance? Uh-oh. Picked off by Marlon McCree. And the Panthers, they kind of seem to play the way their opponents are, but they get away with a win. They were not over 500 all last year, and it's the first time they've been over 500 all this year. Maybe they get started a little bit earlier this year. Tommy, they win 20.
Yeah, and we talked about the Arizona receivers. Steve Smith is having a great year so far, the first quarter of the season. And, yeah, Carolina's got the character to go a long way.
McCown throwing for almost 400, but was picked off 3 times. When we return, Eagles and Cowboys, a surprise in Big D. And the undefeated Redskins go into Denver to face a team that's won 3 in a row, the Denver Broncos. We'll be back. Coming up on Sunday Night Football, Carson Palmer and the Cincinnati Bengals undefeated in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Many consider Carson Palmer the greatest high school football player. They won this game in Orange County, 1997 CIF Southern Division 5 title game. Santa Margarita Eagles against Deshaun Foster's Tustin High Tillers. Carson Palmer, 377 yards.
Prime Time Flashback, brought to you by NikeGridiron.com. Palmer leads the surging Cincinnati Bengals as they go on the prowl to take on the snarling, angry Jacksonville Jaguars. These cats can play, and this should be a rumble in the jungle. The Cincinnati Bengals battle the Jacksonville Jaguars. Live tonight. Steelers, Chargers tomorrow. The NFL on ESPN, home of Super Bowl 40. You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Redskins undefeated at 3-0. Champ Bailey, one-time Skin. Clinton Portis, one-time Bronco. Traded for each other, 3-0 Skins at 3-1 Denver's, 1-3-0. And Tom, is it rain? Could it be snow already in the Rockies?
Absolutely.
Quick pitch to Clinton. You've never seen that, have you, in early October out there? Clinton Portis, a couple of moves inside the 5. Portis, 20 carries, 103. Mark Brunell rolls out, finds Mike Sellers to Sellers Market. Tied it up, Brunell, going for almost 200 yards in the first half. Third quarter, heavy rains. Jake Plummer complained to the ref the ball is slick. Duh. Denver pinned deep in their own end zone. And Jake drops the ball and actually did a good job just to get away with the safety here, Tom. Adi Jimo makes the hit in the end zone. But wait, Denver challenges the play, saying it's a tuck situation. And the refs rule the play is overturned, so the Redskins miss out on 2 points as a reversal.
Only in the AFC West.
Was it in Denver, Tom?
The tuck rule comes into play.
Nick Novak gets a kick block. 2 Broncos on the special teams get their hands on it, so no safety. They miss out on a field goal. Remember these points. Tate and Bell to the right. Get some great blocks. Look at Bell move. 55 yards. Bell had 2 TDs and $127. The Broncos lead 21-10. Fourth quarter, scary moment here, umpire Garth DeFelice. 2 players, he just can't get out of the way. You're the umpire. It's the toughest position of all the officials on the field. He goes down hard. It's the back of his head on the turf. And the trainers of both teams helping him out. He was okay. He would return to fit. These guys.
It's a scary moment,
Nobody understands. They're wearing no pads and nothing. They're out there, and they all bounce back today. Gerard Warren with a sack of Brunell, but a flag on the play downfield, holding, automatic first down. The Redskins down 21-13. Drive continues. Now a minute 15 on the 11th. Brunell to Chris Cooley. Touchdown. Penalty. But it's on the Broncos. Decline, of course. Joe Gibbs needs 2. Brunell rolling. Incomplete. Ian Gold makes the deflection. Onside kick recovered Denver. And the Broncos win at 21-19. They've won 4 in a row. Washington, like Tampa Bay, knocked from the ranks of the undefeated on a rainy day. Brunell threw for 322. Plummer, 10 of 25 for 92.
Yeah, and we talk about the Washington Redskins and how close they've played since Joe Gibbs came back. 4 games this year, all won or lost. And this is their first loss by 2, but all the other wins by 3 points or less, Boom.
Here we go, the Colts and the 49ers. And this looked like David against Goliath as Alex Smith, #1 draft pick this year, making his first career start. Peyton Manning, #1 draft pick in 1998, remembers what that was like. It was like this. Cato June makes the pick. 24 yards, touchdown. The Colts lead 14-0. I got to tell you, the 49ers, you're not going to see it here. They tried. They played hard.
They play hard.
They ran hard. But they're just, in this sort of situation, they're just outmanned. Now that play was just thrown up inexperience. Jason David in the double coverage picks it up. Second pick in the game for Smith. 14-0 second quarter. Smith scrambling. And Mike Dawson, triple coverage, picks it off. So 3 picks Colts in the first half. And welcome to the NFL, young fella.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits. There was a lot of pressure coming. This is a team that hasn't been blitzing a lot this year. They did because they had a rookie. They knew he was going to be affected by it.
And then he hit hard again on the third quarter. Now in the second half, with the score 14-3, Smith again picked off by, well, that's Peyton, pressure by Keith Lewis on the safety blitz. How does he do that to Stokely, huh? How does he do it? Manning, Stokely, first down on 4th and 3. You know, the Niners have, late third, it's 14-3 until Edgerrin James barrels in for the touchdown. 21-3 the Colts. And then Indianapolis ices it with his 18-yard touchdown pass to Troy Walters. Manning 23 of 31, 255. Niners did pick him off twice. Colts win 28-3. Alex Smith 9 of 23 for 74 yards. Mama said there would be days like this, and there'll be more of them. Here's the story you need to know. The Indianapolis Colts are 5-0. They've given up 29 points. 29 points.
Well, I think the key here is that, we all talk about how many points could be scored by this team. They weren't out looking for 50. What they're out looking for is wins, and I think that's the key. This team has learned to play a different style of offense because they have a defense that creates turnovers and positive position for them on the field.
Well, and so the Colts, they're home against St. Louis, then they're at Houston. They got a bye going into New England, and so they have a chance to be undefeated. I know we're looking ahead going into that New England game, but the Colts will say, hey, one thing at a time. They are 5-0. One thing the Philadelphia Eagles did when Andy Reid quickly got there is says, hey, we're going to win the division. We're going to beat the teams in our division. And one of those teams is the Dallas Cowboys. They beat them 9 of the last 10. So here we go. The Eagles at Dallas. Could they do it again against the Cowboy team at 2-2? And Tommy said that they had to come through today. They had to win this thing. And in the sunshine, Drew Bledsoe to Terry Glenn. They've had a tough time, the Cowboys, in the first quarter of the season. They've been outscored 24-0, but not today. Bledsoe to Glenn. Another first down. 2 plays later, Bledsoe and Glenn again. Well, here's a number 1.5, maybe, huh?
No, he's a 1. I'm going to go against Mike. I'm going to say that Terry Glenn is a true 1.
Well, he certainly was. Andy Reid looking on. It's already 7-0. Later in the first quarter, Bledsoe and Glenn again. Drew airs it out. Glenn's got the wheels. 38 yards, 14-0. How about that, Cowboys?
Yeah, take another look at his feet right there. One in, taps down the right foot. You got a better angle from the sideline camera, but believe me, he had both of them in.
And now here's Drew Bledsoe to Polite. And politely, he gets in there for 12 yards for a touchdown. Now, it was what, the Eagles, they're obligatory, down big in the first half? Well, this is not a good way to fall into it. Donovan McNabb and the Eagles had their chances, though. He gets blitzed, but Brian Westbrook opened, dropped it. And the little guy, if he held on to it, would have kept moving.
Yeah, the pressure on McNabb made him throw the ball a little bit too far inside. It was actually a catch that Westbrook had to stretch for. He tried to, and he couldn't quite get to it.
So then McNabb blitzed by Terrence Newman, and with the score 24-3, Dallas can smell it. Over the middle to Westbrook, and Brian looks like he'll get the first time, but Roy Williams comes out of nowhere and drops him short of the first. 3rd and 5, McNabb. Flush from the pocket. And it never gets rid of it. 131 yards, that's it. Passing for McNabb on a day that they were way behind, so of course they have to throw. It's 30-3. And with the score, 27-point lead, Bledsoe to Keyshawn Johnson. He's hit, and Sheldon Brown will pick up the fumble, and he returns it all the way 80 yards for a touchdown. And with this, they're up big. Keyshawn and Bledsoe jawing on the sidelines, and you're up by 20 points. Early 4th, McNabb to Terrell Owens. Did not get career touchdown reception number 100. And then they make up Keyshawn and Bledsoe. Hey, it was a big day for Dallas. Don't overlook that. 33-10. The Cowboys win as Bledsoe threw for almost 300 yards in the 3 touchdowns. Terry Glenn caught a 100-yard day receiving after the game. Bledsoe talking about the incident.
At that point in the game, I felt like we were just absolutely manhandling them. And then to turn the ball over in that situation, you know, I wasn't happy about it. So I said something to him, and he's an emotional guy. Everybody knows that. So he fired back at me, and it's, you know, but it's one of those things that was over about 30 seconds after it started. You know, we got back on the field, and immediately the next conversation is about what we're going to do. I mean, it wasn't even a situation where anybody went and kissed and made up. It was just, it was over. You know, that was all.
Well, Bill.
I like that.
Well, Bill, yeah, that's right. But Bill right there, I don't want to hear about it. Hey, they won a big game.
Well, yeah. And it's a small incident. I said that there were two games that I felt were must-wins today. And I felt that this game was a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys. They get ready to play another divisional game next week against the New York Football Giants. And you know, look, the quarterback was wrong. I think that Keyshawn Johnson is an outstanding competitor. He's trying as hard as he can to make things happen, do anything you have to do to win. So you're out of line when you said that, you know, with the score being what it was. But I also understand the frustration of the quarterback. We've seen it happen a couple of times this year. Interceptions putting teams back in games when they should be blown out.
Well, and the Eagles, they run a little. Huh?
You got to run the football. You got to run the ball some. Let
me get on the horn with that. When we return, game balls coming up, the best of Week 5. There were plenty.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Castrol Syntec. For maximum power, great cars want more than just oil. Give them Castrol Syntec. And Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution. And now another Primetime Performers. Brought to you by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Boomer, my game ball goes to Tom Brady, and I guess that some people think this is typical of Tom Brady, but 22 of 27, 350 yards, 3 touchdown passes, as clutch as you could be today for the two-time defending world champions.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're sitting on your couch 2 weeks ago and forget, okay, 163 yards, Vinny Testaverde came back and rescued the Jets. Maybe gave them a shot at something special this season, or at least moving forward. Testaverde, he beat the Bucs, but giving them the Bucs the first loss of the year. So the Indianapolis Colts move on as expected against San Francisco, but it's getting hard to stay undefeated.
Yeah, 2 of the undefeateds fall, and we got it, you know.
You know what? I think that as we look at the 2 Super Bowl teams, New England and Philadelphia, a little work to do. But for New England, a badly needed win, however it came, and they'll take the almost 500 yards in offense.
Yeah, one ran the ball and one didn't.
By the way, Monday night, the best uniforms ever. The Powder Blues of San Diego going to be worn by the Lightning Bolts in the Monday night game against Pittsburgh. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching. Coming up on Sunday Night Football, the Jags hosting the
1s and 2s, Stuart Scott alongside Neil Everett. It was 1906. It was 1917. Since then, the White Sox hadn't even smelt no World Series title. They could be going back for the first time since 1959, Neil.
Yeah, when the game goes final, you get all the highlights and analysis right here, but postseason baseball falling on Week 6 of NFL Sunday, and we start with a fantastic finish at Texas Stadium. That's where the Giants were taking on Drew Bledsoe and the Cowboys. Giants averaging a league-leading 34 points per game. Late fourth quarter, it's 13-6. The Giants with the 6. Eli Manning to Jeremy Shockey right there. And Bill Parcells says, oh, we don't have a Redskin scenario, do we? Tiki Barber up the middle, 64 yards. And then Tom Coughlin says, well, you come out, I'm going to put in Brandon Jacobs. He hasn't had a carry all day. And next play, Jacobs, the rookie, gets the carry. There goes Roy Williams stripping the football. The Cowboys recover. 4th turnover and 5 drives for the Giants. Cowboys unable to move it, though, so the G-men get another chance. 52 seconds left. Manning pressured. He went 14 of 30, 215 yards. Finds his new favorite receiver, Plaxico Burress. Giants then no huddle. Bob Papa from the fan. The call.
Takes the snap. Blitzes on. Over the middle. He's got Shockey. 15, touchdown. 10, 5. Touchdown, Giants. Jeremy Shockey.
Well, this game was tied, and we go to overtime. In OT, Dallas won the coin toss, and believe it or not, they elected to receive. Bledsoe Downfield to Jason Witten. Out of bounds at the 30. Witten 5 catches, 56 yards. 51, 8-play drive ends with KLUV's Brad Sham.
The kick's away. The kick's got leg. The kick is good. The Cowboys win. And Jose Cortez for mayor. It's Cinco de Mayo in October.
Jose Cortez, 3 of 5 on the day. Parcells and Dallas win at 16-13. Ed Werder has more.
The Cowboys committed 4 turnovers, had a penalty that nullified a touchdown, missed 1 field goal, and had another blocked, and still emerged as the better team. That was only because the Dallas defense was thoroughly dominant, pressuring Eli Manning and forcing the Giants into an equal number of miscues.
Defense, I tell you, that's their best effort of the year, I think, because they were under duress.
That's our bad game for the year in terms of the mistakes and still get 1 win.
When your offense needs help, and we got to be able to have their back, and we did that.
The Cowboys didn't surrender a single 3rd down conversion until late in the 4th quarter. Tom Coughlin's frustration was apparent long before that.
Lack of execution. Make a play. Somebody make a play. You know, there wasn't anything being done.
The Cowboys' defensive emphasis was pressure up the middle on Manning. After the game, Coughlin said his quarterback didn't play well and wasn't alone. In his brief NFL career, Manning still hasn't won a single game away from Giants Stadium. At Texas Stadium, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Another crazy finish. Jags and Steelers. Big Ben Roethlisberger out injured. Tommy Maddox in. 3rd quarter, 14-10 Steelers. Byron Leftwich, who played quarterback in college, getting a sick on to Matt Jones, who played quarterback in college. 10-yard touchdown, one-handed grab, 17-14 Jags. Under 4 to play. Jeff Reed, 46-yard field goal. Kid. Wide right. Next Jags drive, 3rd and 16. Leftwich throws incomplete, but roughing the passer gives Jacksonville a 1st down. Later in the drive, 3rd down, under a minute to play. Hater in the house. Leftwich intercepted by Brian McFadden in the end zone. That would send the game to overtime, tied at 17. Steelers win the coin toss, and guess what, Neil?
They elected to receive?
Unbelievably so. And on the kickoff opening overtime, Quincy Morgan got his freak on. Quincy's going to take this 74 yards to the Jags' 26-yard line, pushed out of bounds by Rashean Mathis. Remember that name, Rashean Mathis. On the ensuing drive, 3rd and 11, Maddox, see what happened. One of his 4 turnovers, Jacksonville recovers. Hines Ward, who missed his first game in 116 straight, needs a hug. After holding the Jags, the Steelers will get the ball back, and Maddox looking, finding that guy, Rashean Mathis. 41-yard, gone. 16th time a regular season overtime game ends with an interception return for a touchdown. Sean, what's up with the Steelers?
All right, Stu, let me be Captain Obvious. The Pittsburgh Steelers are better with Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. He didn't play Sunday due to injury. Tommy Maddox, a veteran, comes in. It's 3rd and 14. He plays and starts in this game. Tommy knows better than this. If there's nobody to hold the corner down here in this square, the corner's just going to retreat. That's an easy interception. Tommy throws it right to him for one of his interceptions. Now, all these are happening in the 1st and 2nd quarter. 2nd 27, a veteran quarterback's got to say, make the right decision, have my mechanics. Step in horizontal, just step into the pocket your line creates, and then the ball won't be there. It'll be right there. Your receiver can catch and run. 3rd and 27. Tommy's thinking, oh, the linebackers are going to get depth. I'm staring right at him while he's running. Make that throw, check it down for about 12 yards, and let's punt. It's okay to punt. If you miss, throw it around the linebacker so your guy can at least have a chance to catch it. And then this is only the 2nd quarter. You're only down 7 after the way you've played. Tommy fires it into cover 4, which is 4 guys on 1 to an incompletion. Miserable day. This could come back to haunt Pittsburgh, Neil.
Thank you, Sean. How's it? Welcome to Sports Center. Stuart Scott, Neil Everett. We know who you are. If you're just turning in, you're the group of people that were watching the ALCS game between the White Sox and Angels, and you turn it over to Sports Center for the highlights and the analysis. We got Jeff Brantley and Harold Reynolds coming up.
White Sox, 3. Mike Shanahan and the Broncos hosting the Patriots at Mile High. Corey Dillon in uniform. Kid did not play. 1st quarter, Jake Plummer played. So did Jeb Putzier. You know, Jeb was thinking, Jake, don't leave me out like this. Putzier gets baptized by Asante Samuel. Take another look and listen. I'm not a gambling man, but I think Putzier is going to show up on Tom Jackson's Jacked Up segment Monday night. He was shaken up, but he would return. Second quarter, Broncos down 3-zip. Plummer about to break off something real proper-like. To Rod Smith, 72-yard catch. Burns Dwayne Starks like Dwayne got stuck on high in the toaster. The longest completion to a Bronco wideout all year had been 23 yards before that. 2 plays later, Tatum Bell, holla. Bell, 114 yards rushing, 7-3 Broncos. Still second quarter. Rod Smith toast Dwayne Starks again. This is a Pop-Tart, though, Neil. Rod's 64th career touchdown, one shy of the team record, capped a 91-yard drive, and Rod needs some air after that. Late second quarter, 14-3 Broncos. Plummer, Tatum Bell as cool as the other side of the pillow. All season, the Patriots had only allowed 3 plays from scrimmage of 50 yards or more, all year coming in. They did it 3 times in this one game. That led to a touchdown, 21-3 Broncos. Then Tom Brady screen pass to Patrick Pass, and Pass carrying the load. Big brother doing work, 64 yards rushing, 89 receiving, 32-yard gain. Later in the drive, 1st and goal. Now the score is 28-13. Brady, David Givens, ruled he was pushed out, counts as a touchdown. Here come the Patriots, it's 28-20. Broncos need a 1st down to ice it. Rod Smith just overpowers start. Patriots allowed 2 50-yard passer, 1 rusher, 100-yard receiver. Broncos win it 28-20. Let's go back to baseball now. And Ozzie Guillen, White Sox skipper. Final round of Michelle Wee's first golf tournament as a pro, Samsung World Championship. She thought she finished 4th on Sunday. Thought she got a paycheck for $53,126. But let's go back to Saturday. In the par 5 7th, after hitting her 2nd shot in the bushes, Wee decides to take an unplayable lie, incur 1-stroke penalty. Took 2 club lengths from where the ball lay. After taking 2 drops, she then placed her ball. But the ball was placed approximately 12 to 15 inches closer to the hole. By playing the ball from that wrong location, we violated 20-7 rule, signed for an incorrect score, and was disqualified.
I don't feel like I cheated or anything. I felt like, you know, I was honest out there, and, you know, it was what I felt like I did right. And, you know, I was pretty confident out there what I did, and if I did it again, I would still do that because it looked right to me. But, you know, I learned my lesson. I'm going to call the real official every single time.
Meanwhile, after we won no money, Annika Sorenstam won a bunch. This eagle on number 7, Annika crushed kids, tied an LPGA record by winning the same tournament 5 times. Wins her 8th tournament this year. 9th time in her career, she's won a tournament by at least 8 strokes. She's still the best player in the world.
Marty hates the Raiders. That's what one Charger player said of the coach Schottenheimer after San Diego visited Oakland on Sunday. First quarter, Chargers, Drew Brees, LaDainian Tomlinson, who ties Lenny Moore for the most consecutive games with a touchdown in NFL history. That's 18 straight. Chargers up 7. LT with 39 yards receiving and 140 yards rushing. The next Chargers drive, both drives, by the way, kept alive by Raider penalties. I know that's hard to believe. It's 14-0 San Diego. How about something from Oakland? Kerry Collins to Randy Moss downfield. Moss double covered. Can't make the catch, but he did come up lame. He injured his groin, and he also has bruised ribs. Played one more play in the game and did not return after leaving on that particular play. Chargers up 17-7, 3rd and goal on the 4. You know who you're going to call? Tomlinson. And who's he going to call? He's going to call on former Duck Justin Peel. Tomlinson, first player in 4 seasons to run, catch, and throw for a touchdown. He did it all in the first half. Chargers, 27-14. Tomlinson now has 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. He's the first player in NFL history with at least 10 rushing touchdowns in 10 straight seasons. The other guys are named Emmett, Jim Brown, Walter Payton. Well, in fact, they never did it. He has a touchdown in 18 straight games. That ties an NFL record, and he's only the 3rd player since the merger to run, throw, and catch a touchdown pass.
The ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? Everybody, come on, clap your hands.
And the Angels have won it. Touchdown, Michigan wins.
Now on the team, Michelle Weeee.
The kids are playing their tail off, and the coaches are screwing it up.
Brzezinski is running. How are they going to call it? See? Edmonds makes another spectacular catch.
Yahoo, buckaroo.
The ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
From this game later in the show.
Another down-to-the-wire NFL game in San Antonio where the Saints hope to introduce Michael Vick and the Falcons to their current version of home cooking. First quarter, Vick avoids the sack, scrambles, tackled by Fred Thomas. Injured on the play, Matt Schaub warming up. Vick would come out for one play, but he's a football player, and that would be the only play that he missed. 4 seconds remaining in the half. John Carney, 47-yard field goal attempt. It's blocked! Demorial Williams picks it up, and he has reservations for 6. 51 yards for the score, and it's 17-10 Jim Mora's club at the half. Jim Mora Jr. Fourth quarter, tied at 31. Vick wants no part of overtime. He's sore. 14 seconds left. 3rd and 2. Play action. Rolls left, and I'll get 2, then I'll get out of bounds. First down. 6 seconds left. Todd Peterson, 41-yarder to win the game. Had made 22 of his last 23 inside of 45 yards, but he misses. We go to overtime. Not so fast, my friends. There is a penalty called on New Orleans. Number 92, Tony Bryant, called for defensive holding. Defensive holding on a field goal attempt. Coach Haslett, your thoughts?
The play at the end, by the call by the officials, it's flat-out chicken. All right? It's a flat-out chicken call by that crew.
So get another chance at 36.
Another chance for Peterson. 36 yards, double trouble for the Saints. Falcons 34-31. Coach Haslett frustrated, and understandably so.
Another wild finish. Panthers went to Motown to try and tame a Lion. Steve Smith is on his game. Second quarter, Jake Delhomme. This is saucy to Steve Smith. Smitty's gone. 80-yard touchdown. Smith leads the NFL with 7 touchdown catches this year. You got to see this, though. Smith catches the ball between 4 defenders, and Kenoy Kennedy misses a tackle. Smith, 6 catches, $123. Panthers up 14-7. But next Panther possession. 3rd and 7 on the 44. Kenoy missed that tackle. He wanted some revenge, some redemption. Picks off Jake Delhomme and takes it to the house. Game tied at 14. Jake Delhomme had 4 touchdown passes in the first half. 2 of them to the Panthers nil, and 2 of them to the Lions. He had picked twice by the Lions in return for a touchdown. Fourth quarter, Delhomme scrambles, and as he slides, Kenoy Kennedy just unloads on him. Another look, Delhomme's shoulder and head slams into the turf. 15-yard personal foul. Kennedy, Chris Winkie, who hadn't played a game in 3 years, comes in old school to old school. Wink dog to Ricky Prohl. The Hall of Fame had a place for 3rd receivers. Ricky would be at 651 career catches, and this, his 51st career touchdown with 32 seconds left. Panthers go up 21-20. After a 43-yard kickoff return by R.W. McQuarters, Lions 4th and 10. Harrington overthrows Kevin Johnson. Joey got hounded, sacked 6 times. Panthers won it 21-20. The politically incorrect bowl, the Redskins and the Chiefs. Dick Vermeil and Joe Gibbs, first time they've coached against each other since 1982. Third quarter, Skins on their own 22-yard line. Quick hitch to Santana Moss. And I ain't gonna say nothing, but this ain't right. That speed is just stupid. 78-yard touchdown, 10 catches, career high, 173 yards receiving for Santana. Fourth quarter, tied at 21. Chiefs on their own 40. Priest Holmes, freaking with the okie doke. Priest only had 18 yards rushing on 14 carries, but this reception is just bananas. You want the Lord, get the Priest. 5 catches, 100 yards, and a crazy 60-yard touchdown. Chiefs up 28-21. Redskins ball in the fourth quarter, but Chiefs and Jared Allen was playing great, fat, crazy good. Pick a superlative. Sacks Mark Brunell right there. More superlatives. Allen off the charts, flexing, mad skills. He had from the right end, had from the left end. Jared Allen, 6 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. Golly gee, he's good. Redskins still with the chance. Minute 22 to go. From their own 33, Brunell to James Thrash for 19. Brunell to David Patton for 15. Brunell came with it, 331 yards passing, but after 3 incompletions, 4th down, 12 seconds to go. The ball knocked down by Sammy Knight. Ball game. Chiefs win it 28-21. Time now for the Dockers all-around performer, second-year defensive end Jared Allen. You don't have defensive lines like this. 6 tackles, as I said. 3 of those were sacks. He forced 2 fumbles and recovered both of them. He leads the Chiefs D-line with 30 tackles this year and 5 sacks.
How would the Bengals respond after suffering their first loss of the season? To Tennessee for the answer. Cincy looking to improve to 5-1 and take advantage of Pittsburgh's loss. Third quarter, the Cats in a fight, down 7. Tyrone Calico hit by Torrey James. Odell Thurman picks the Steve McNair pass and returns it for 6. This game is tied, but the Titans retook the lead on a field goal with less than 5 minutes left. Carson Palmer needed less than a minute to retake the lead. Did it by taking advantage of rookie Adam Jones. Pac-Man called for interference, trying to cover Chad Johnson on that play. 2 plays later, we arrow the wideout, who's now waving frantically to get Palmer's attention. Johnson with the rookie Jones on him, and he wants him. A veteran Pro Bowl guy going against a rookie is something that makes me lick my chops. That's what Palmer said after doing that. USC to Oregon State. Bengals go on to win the game 31-23. No end zone celebration for Chad. Ricky Williams back in the Dolphins pod as Miami makes the interstate swim to Tampa. Ricky's first regular season action after taking a year and 4 games off. Bucks rookie Carnell Williams garaged for the 2nd straight week with an injury. Williams set career lows in carries with 5 and touches with 11. His 8 rushing yards is 1 shy of his career low. Then he said afterwards, "It felt like I never left." Huh?
Interesting.
And Ricky studied some yoga while away. Chris Chambers striking his own warrior pose in the 2nd quarter with that catch. That's the extent of the highlight that you Finn fans will see. Miami did knock Tampa Bay quarterback Brian Griese out of the game on this play. Zach Thomas rolls into his knee while Griese was releasing a pass. Griese would limp to the sideline, went to the hospital for tests. Further evaluation Monday. Bucks have a Week 7 bye. Chris Sims takes over, and he takes the challenge. 13-6 Bucks late. Michael Pittman, the Cadillac's replacement, takes the pitch, goes Rolls Royce by Jason Taylor, who got the arrow, and then the gas. Tampa Bay improves to 5-1 with the 27-13 win. Sal Palantonio, he was there.
On the field Sunday.
Jets and Bills, holler! Vinny, 2nd game of his comeback, 1st quarter, 1st Bills drive. Just get a rock to Willis McGahee. Young cousin busted 23 yards. McGahee was a workhorse, 29 carries in the game. Later that drive, Kelly Holcomb finds Jonathan Smith, and Smith finds the pylon. Y'all got to get at me. Hardcore style. Holcomb, 2nd straight starts, 18-26. 3rd quarter, Jets down 17-10. Can a brother get some Curtis Martin? On the roll, Martin, 41-yard gain, season high, $148 in the ground, becomes the 7th player in history to go over 17,000 yards from scrimmage. Very next play, Testaverde looking for Chris Baker, but Angelo Crowell steps in front and picks it. Jets denied. Ensuing drive, 1st and goal for the Bills, and Willis McGahee have some. Buffalo's first second-half touchdown of the season. McGahee, 143 yards rushing, career high. Bills win 27-17. We win because Boomer's got his top 10.
Mid-October, what a smorgasbord we have for plays of the week. College football, could we have a better Saturday? Of course, the usual NFL, the AL and the NLCSs in baseball, but Our job here at Plays of the Week is to go and search far and wide. And while you thought Monday was Columbus Day here, which it was, in Canada it was Thanksgiving. So
welcome to this 90-minute edition of SportsCenter. I'm Dan Patrick. A college football game for the ages Saturday in South Bend as top-ranked USC beat Notre Dame in epic fashion. And on the south side of Chicago, long-awaited rejoicing by White Sox fans, cheering the team's first World Series appearance in 46 years. Unbelievable sports weekend, but first, a loss by the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots could be followed by a remarkable comeback. Denver on Sunday, Mike Shanahan and company hosting the Patriots. Second quarter, Broncos down 3-0. Second down on their own 23, and it's Jake Plummer to Rod Smith. 72-yard reception as he burns Dwayne Starks. Still in the second quarter, 7-3 Broncos, first and goal, and it's Plummer, Smith again, working against Starks again. 6-yard touchdown, capping a 91-yard drive. 14-3 Broncos. They would hold on to win this one 28-20, dropping the Patriots 2-3-3. The Patriots defense continues to suffer without players such as linebacker Teddy Bruschi. Sal Paolantonio joins us now from Foxborough. Sal, the mild stroke that Bruschi suffered back in February was supposed to be season-ending, if not career-threatening. What did he say today about the ordeal that he's been through so far?
Well, Dan, today was the first time he talked since that stroke 8 months ago, and he was the same old Teddy Bruschi. He was candid, he was tough, he was passionate, and he described his soul-searching decision to come back to football in very personal terms.
I'm not just doing this just because, no, I just want to play. I just want to play. You know, forget it. I'm going for it. I'm not just doing that. This isn't something you just go for. This is something you make sure everything's right. Yeah, I mean, come on. I lost my sight. One morning, one day you wake up and you can't see your sons very clearly anymore because you've had a stroke. You can't walk. You can't walk right. 2 days before you're playing in a football game, now you can barely go down the steps. You know, 2 days before you're making tackles in the Pro Bowl, and then all of a sudden your vision on your left side, you can't see your hand right here. You know, it was a traumatic experience. It's been a long road back. So I'm not just going to jump into something without being absolutely 100% positive.
One of Bruschi's doctors, Dr. David Greer, a specialist in stroke neurology from Massachusetts General Hospital, released a statement, and he said, quote, "The player," referring to Teddy Bruschi, "is completely back to normal. There are no medical reasons, Dan, for him to delay his return to football, and that is expected to happen on Wednesday here when the Patriots return to the practice field."
Sal, what went on behind the scenes in Foxborough for Bruschi to be able to be cleared to play?
Well, let's be clear about something. This was Teddy Bruschi's decision. The people around him, his wife, his agent, owner Bob Kraft, and others in the organization had urged him to be very cautious about this. They didn't want him to go through any kind of unnecessary risk to get back to the football field, but he was determined to come back, to push the timetable, to get back as quickly as possible. So he made this final decision, Dan.
All right, Sal Paolantonio live in Foxborough. Let's get more of our experts to weigh in on this. Open mic segment, at least bonus coverage here. Let's bring in Mike Ditka and Michael Irvin. Guys, should Teddy Bruschi be coming back to play?
Michael, I know you disagree with me on Teddy Bruschi, but I'm going to tell you why he should play. First of all, he's been cleared by the doctors, that's for sure. The guy is good for the game. He's good for the Pats. They need leadership on that defense since Harris has gone down. And the main reason is because he loves the game. But the backup behind him, he's been cleared.
Yeah, but somebody needs to start thinking about his family. Not his football family, but his real family. And it's a dangerous situation. I say, don't play football, Teddy. Why not rest the rest of this season? The patch, you see the patch. They don't look like they're going anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere. Teddy can take this year off, get healthy, come back next year, and make a run and a fresh start.
Patriots do have a bye week. We'll have more from Michael Irvin and Mike Ditka coming up. NFL insider Chris Mortensen joins us now. Mort, is the league concerned about Teddy Bruschi returning to football?
Not at all, Dave, Dan, because primarily they consider this a club and player matter. And they are, I think from a distance, they're satisfied with everything they've heard, that Teddy Bruschi really has jumped through about as many medical hoops as you can jump through. And, you know, anybody who knows Teddy also, I might add, this is a great family man. And I can't believe he would put his family at risk. And he mentioned this in the press conference, if this were not a solid decision made on his part. And more importantly, I think, really on the doctor's part. So I think the league is very satisfied with what they've heard.
All right, Mort, thanks. More from Mort coming up. The much-maligned Vikings yesterday against the Bears. 43 seconds left in the first half. Bears down 3-zip, and it's Kyle Orton, Desmond Clark under review, and the TD will stand. The Bears lead at 7-3 at halftime. And then Charles Tillman picks off Dante Culpepper. That would lead to another Orton to Clark touchdown. Early fourth quarter, it's Thomas Jones. First of 2 touchdown runs. Bears went on to win this one in convincing fashion, 28-3. Colleen Dominguez is in Minneapolis for the fallout from last week's controversial charter cruise by the Vikings. Colleen, what's the latest today?
Afternoon, Dan. Well, the Viking players today talked in detail about their troubles on the field. That ugly loss to Chicago. They're now 1-4. They're preparing for their next game against their division rivals, the Green Bay Packers. But they wouldn't go into a lot of details about what happened off the field and how they're dealing with that. They would admit that this is a team that is down, and it's time for this team to refocus.
Right now, nobody thinks we have character, so who cares? The bottom line is you have to worry about what's going on in the locker room with your guys. It's my responsibility and it's other guys' responsibility on the team to help guys understand where we at right now.
I don't think winning necessarily solves everything. It sure makes your stomach feel a little better, where you're not, having that sensation that you want to puke all the frickin' time, because stress does that to us all. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you say, man, I didn't have anything to drink last night. I didn't eat anything fattening. Why do I want to puke? And then you realize, oh, yeah, that's right. And you start remembering what's going on in your life.
Mike Tice also said he has no intention of stepping down as head coach, and he has no plans to sit down his starting quarterback, Dante Culpepper, even though Culpepper has struggled in the first 5 games this season. Dan?
Colleen Dominguez live in Minneapolis. Let's bring in Sean Jensen, a Vikings beat writer for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Sean, has this kind of incident happened before with the Vikings?
This is obviously a second-year tradition. Originally this stemmed from players, rookies, taking out veterans for a very nice dinner, steaks, cigars, alcohol, and then it evolved into something more last year. Not sure exactly who sort of initiated this, but again, it did start last year, and then the boat was sort of the next level that it was taken to this year. So this has turned into a tradition that I'm certain that Ziggy Wolf is going to stop.
Sean, thank you. Let's bring back Chris Mortensen. Mort, let me talk about a couple of injuries off the field. Let me start in Seattle with Ken Hamlin. What's the update on him?
Yeah, their safety, last night after the game against the Houston Texans, the Seahawks safety was out at a nightclub. Apparently was in an altercation. He is now in a Seattle area hospital with a fractured skull. He's in serious but stable condition. He has a small blood clot. He has a broken hand. 2 suspects who apparently hit him in the head got away from police. And the team is not certain whether or not he'll be able to return this year, but that seems unlikely.
Seattle has Dallas coming up this weekend. The Eagles' Jerome McDougal, his status, the Eagles planning on him coming back. Has there been a setback?
Yeah, there has been. This is their former #1 pick, a defensive end who was in an off-field incident in which he was had gunshot wounds to the abdomen. He was scheduled to return to practice today, Dan, and on Saturday he actually went to the Temple-Miami game, and that was in, he played at the University of Miami. He was excited. Sunday night he started having lower abdomen pains. It turns out he was having complications from those gunshot wounds. He underwent surgery, and even though the Eagles haven't announced, I've been told he's pretty much out for the season for good.
All right, more from Mort coming up, not only on SportsCenter, but also on NFL Countdown, Monday Night Countdown coming up 7:30 Eastern. Just getting started, 90-minute SportsCenter. Let's bring in Mike Greenberg. Greeny, what else is on the menu?
Well, Dan, one from column A and one from column B. With so much to choose from, which player would you build your National Football League team around? We posed that question to Mike Ditka and Michael Irvin. Their choices are coming up on this edition of SportsCenter.
The run with Tatum Bell. Couple of blockers got a first down and a lot more. Race down the sideline. Tatum Bell goes in. Touchdown. Hand off. Bryson. First down. And Suggs. Watch out. He's got Deion on his heels. Can the old guy track him down? Nope. Touchdown, Detroit.
That's incredible. John Daly off a tight line. But he didn't go even for the low spinner there, and that's just amazing. 110 yards. Is this his wheelhouse?
How about yes? Yes, it is. Eagles 2, Garcia tied for the lead. It's unbelievable.
It's a Monday stage.